Hey friends, thank you so much for stopping by. Welcome to Vesna TV DIY. I'm Vesna. Today's episode is all about Halloween gnomes, so let's get going.
So here are the things that I think I'm gonna be using. Excuse the Kleenex. I'm not sure that I'll use all of this stuff, and I may add some fillers like rice or polyfill, whatever you have on hand. So I'm gonna be making 3 different flower pot gnomes that are Halloween themed. So one will hopefully be a witch one will be kind of like with the Day of the Dead, and then another one will just be like a Halloween themed gnome with, maybe like this spider and this for his hat. I haven't completely decided how I'm going to make them. I kind of saw an idea on Pinterest and on Facebook, and I'm building off of that. I think it was just like an Etsy buy or something that I saw on Pinterest or on Facebook. I'm not sure, but I kind of got the idea, and then I thought, okay, I'm going to combine kind of all the things that I saw, and I'm going to try and make them out of these flower pots. I did see like a flower pot gnome that was like a spring theme, so I'm like, oh, okay, I can make that Halloween theme, but the instructions for that one weren't the best, so I'm going to hopefully make a better one for you. I only have this fur for his for their beards, so I'm also going to use the mop, which is a great thing to use as well. I thought I had white fur, but I don't, so the mop will help. Then I just have some socks. Instead of painting these, I think I'm going to use the socks. I might wind up painting them, so we'll kind of see as we go and take it from there. I like to show you my process because sometimes when you think of you're doing a thing one way, then you change it halfway through. So this just kind of gives you some ideas. Like I have different little decorations to put on them, and we'll see what we wind up using. I have these little beads. I can't remember if these are from Dollarama or the Dollar Tree, so it's one of the dollar stores. Most of the stuff is from Dollar Tree. These hats are from Dollarama, but they're $1.75. So our Dollar Tree is $1.50 now. You may be able to find them there. They're like little hair clips. Maybe able to find them there. If not, I'm sure whatever dollar store you have, you'll have these in there. And the rest of the stuff I know is from Dollar Tree. Maybe this fur might be from Dollarama too. I know Dollar Tree has them, but like you got to get them when they have them because they don't have them all the time. All right, so let's get started.
So this first gnome is the witch gnome that I'm making, and I'm just using one of the medium-sized flower pots, the clay ones. I believe they come in a pack of 2. The little ones come in a pack of 3, and then the big one I think is just 1. And I am wrapping this one in this sock, and it's one of those kind of fuzzy snuggly socks from the Dollar Tree, and I've got a pair, so I'm just going to wrap it in there. This helps so I don't have to paint it. And then I'm going to attach the hat, and I will be attaching the fur beard, and I'll show you how I do that. But before I show you,
so I did want to just kind of show you guys this glue gun. I was sent this by this company, Monvict, to test out and try it out, and I want to show you the gun. So the package came with the glue gun, and you can plug it in and you charge it for, well, not charge, you plug it in, and once it heats up, then it'll work for a few minutes unplugged, which is kind of neat if you need to have it be cordless for whatever amount of time that you need it for. And it also came with these glue sticks in the package and some finger protectors, which, as you all know, if you watched my videos, you know I need these. So it was a great little package for 45 Canadian. Not a bad deal at all, and a really good glue gun. So I'll show you how I use it in this video, but really good glue gun. Make sure you try it out. I will post a link in my description. I can't even talk. In my description below, I'll post a link to the Amazon for you to buy it, where you can buy it on Amazon. They do have it in the States as well, so you can find that in the States as well. Okay, so let's get back to the project. What I also like about the glue gun is that it has its own little stand. So there you go. It stands on its own. That's pretty nice because a lot of the other ones do not stand up on their own. So that's kind of neat. So anyway, as you saw, I wrapped this in my sock. This is the pot.
And now I'll just be attaching the hat to it. Now with the hat, it had this little clip because it is like a hair clip. And I wasn't going to take it off. I was just going to hot glue it to there. And then I didn't like the way it was sitting because it made it kind of sit up a little bit because of that clip. So instead of poking a hole and clipping it on, which you could do, I just ripped off the little clip and I hot glued it to the pot. And then I just wanted to kind of see where I wanted the nose to sit. So I just kind of tested out my bead to see where it would sit. And I decided that just right under the hat would be perfect. So before I glued on the bead for the nose, obviously I have to do the beard. So I'm doing that here. I apologize for this angle. I think I need to change how I record because some of these things are a little bit better if I'm doing them from the side. You know, even after doing this for a year and a bit, the editing and recording part I'm still learning a lot about, so it's okay. It's a trial and error, so you can see what I'm doing. I'm just cutting out the little fur, measuring it out to what size I need, and then I'm just kind of wrapping it around, not the entire gnome, although you could do the entire gnome, but because I like to use these in tray decor, and most of my trays are kind of like towards a wall or something like that in the back. I don't really need to cover the back and I just don't want to waste more materials than I have to. But if you were wanting to sell these or if you wanted to give it as a gift, I would wrap the whole thing around in the little beard because I think it would look kind of neat. But anyway, or make sure at least if you're not wrapping it in the little beard, depending on what you're going for with the gnome. But if you're not doing that, then at least make sure the back is like it all kind of edges and lines up nicely in the back. So that way it doesn't look unfinished. So I attached the beard so it kind of flows in like the front of the gnome. It looks like the sides and the front is covered. And then I attached the beard the bead for the nose just under the hat at the top of the beard. So if you have something that kind of sticks, like you almost want the hat to look like the beard is under the hat. So make sure you either have it up all the way to the top or you glue your hat down after. And then that's all there is to it. And then once you glue everything on, you kind of want to look and see if there's any like bald patches or anything like that, and you fix it up accordingly. And like I said, that's all there is to it. Here he is, or she, whatever you want to call. Here they are all finished. I think it turned out super cute, and it's a super cute gnome. So that was super easy. Then here's the second one. This is the one that I'm using, the 2 flower pots, the smaller one and the larger one. And I am using a white sock for these. And again, it was a pair of socks that I got from the Dollar Tree for, well, it was $1.25 when I bought them. Now it's $1.50, but inexpensive. And I'm just wrapping the bottom pot in the white sock, not the top pot. And this will be my body for the gnome, and then the top will be the hat of the gnome. So I went ahead and I hot glued the smaller pot to the larger pot as the hat. And then I went and I used, for the beard, instead of using the fur, I used that mop. So it's just the mop head from the Dollar Tree. And I glued the little strings to the like hat portion to the small pot and had them hang off. So I just kind of measured so that they would hang nicely on the bottom. I've done it where I've cut them too short, so just make sure you like cut them a little bit longer, and you can always cut them down if you need to versus the other way around. And then I wrapped the small pot with that bat ribbon from the Dollar Tree. You can do anything you want for this, but I thought this would be a neat little thing to do. And I made it look like a pointy hat. So what I did was I wrapped one band of the ribbon around, hot glued it, then I did another small band and then another small band. So there's 3 layers of it to give it kind of the image of a cone. There are templates you can find online for the hats and for everything, and then you can sew things, but why sew if you can hot glue things? It's just a lot quicker, in my opinion, and a little bit easier. Not everyone has a sewing machine, not everyone is capable of sewing, all of that stuff, or not capable. Everyone is capable, but not everyone knows how to sew. So this is just quick and easy and a fun little thing to do. So once I had the hat all ready to go, I then took each of the little mop strings and I divided them. So you just want to make sure that you don't, like I unwound them. You just want to make sure you don't go all the way to the top, otherwise you're going to unwind the whole thing and it'll come apart. So you just kind of go almost to the top, and you can either twirl them counterclockwise or you can separate them with your fingers. It's up to you. But I did that with each of the strings to make it look a lot fuller. I also then hot glued the bead as his nose, and again I measured that to be just under the tip of the hat, and that's all there is to this gnome. It is pretty simple, again, maybe a little bit more time consuming. I did wind up adding a little bit of a decorative little string thing from the Dollar Tree just to the tip of the hat. You can add a bat if you have a little one, or a spider, or anything you have, or nothing, or a bead, whichever you'd like. But here he is all finished. I love the way he turned out. I also added a small spider to the side of the gnome as well, and that came off of one of the flowers that come for Halloween from the Dollar Tree. It was just like a little spider. And last but not least is another gnome that I created. Again, for this one, I'm using one little flower pot. It's the medium-sized one, not the tiny one. And I am wrapping it in one of those fuzzy socks because it was a pair, so this was left over. And this one, I stuffed the top of the hat a little bit with rice. After I did it, I figured I probably shouldn't have done it. It was a little bit too heavy. I just wanted it to look more like a cone shape. You could put a little styrofoam comb in there, or you could even take a piece of cardboard and wrap it into a comb, like just not like super thick cardboard, but like maybe cardstock, to make it look more spiky if you wanted to. But I did rice. You can do rice, just know that it'll make it kind of heavy. So just keep that in mind. And what I did was I measured out how long I needed for the body, and then I tied a knot and I put that much rice in there. Once I filled the rice in there and tied that knot, then I went and I wrapped the pot in the sock. And I added this fabric. It's kind of like the Day of the Dead fabric. That's what it reminds me of from the Dollar Tree, but I really like it, and I've wanted to incorporate that for quite some time now, so I'm glad I got to incorporate it into my decor. And I'm just wrapping the hat part of it in this. And again, I kind of measure roughly how much I need. I cut off a piece that long. And then what I did was I just I folded it over and I hot glued a part of the part that I cut just because it wasn't very straight. Could have used my cutter, but I forgot about it, to be honest with you, because I have a fabric cutter with like a little mat so it cuts straight. But I was just doing this quick. I could just do a quick cut. So usually when I cut a lot, I use it, but I just did a quick cut. And then what I did was I wrapped the fabric all around the hat to make it a little bit pointy. I played around with this a little bit. That's why I said if you add the rice, it makes it a little bit heavy. So it's a little bit harder to do, but I wound up doing it. And again, I kind of wrapped and wrapped and wrapped around in layers to make it look like it went into a cone shape. So once I had the hat kind of the way I wanted it to be, I then went and I hot glued the beard on. You could hot glue the beard on before if you wanted to. I kind of did it after the hat because, like I said, the rice was a bit heavy. It kept on kind of popping off. So I hot glued all of this together and then I wound up using one more piece of ribbon. I just had a purple ribbon, Halloween ribbon that I bought last year, and I wrapped it around the base of the hat to make it stick better. But again, if you don't wind up filling it with the rice, it'll be a little bit better. And I did the same method for the beard as I did with the previous gnome, where I hot glued them up strings and then I separated them. So then after I got the beard to the way I wanted it to be, I wound up gluing that ribbon around, as I said, around the base, and then I hot glued the little bead as his nose. I just want to say this hot glue gun is pretty impressive. It doesn't drip. It's quite strong, so it heats up the glue quite nice. It has two different speeds that you can turn it on to, like two different heats that you can turn it on to. I had it on the higher heat. And once you unplug it, it lasts for a good 3 minutes where you're hot gluing. I mean, depending on how much you're using it, obviously, but it lasts, quite a bit of time, so it can let you do a project for a good decent amount of time, I think. I'm really impressed with this hot glue gun, to be honest with you. The finger protectors are not as great as some of my other ones that I have, but the actual gun is very, very good. So be sure to check it out if you're shopping for a new hot glue gun. And as I said, they did send this off to me to try out. And I tried it out and I really liked it. So anyway, here he is, all finished. I've glued everything on, made him sturdy, and made him look awesome, or her, as I said, whichever way you want to put it. And I did forget to mention that I did add like those little bones that I showed you at the beginning of the video. They're styrofoam bones. I just hot glued 3 of them together and I added them to the tip of the hat just to kind of go with the theme of the skulls and the bones. And I thought it added a little bit of decor to the top of the hat. So here he is. So let me know what you think of this one, all finished. And here are all 3 of them. Let me know which one you like the best. Do you guys like decorating with gnomes or do you not like gnomes? Let me know what you think. And leave me a comment below. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed. And have a great day and happy fall, I guess, even though it's a little bit early. Thanks so much. Have a great day.